Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy visited the recently liberated city of Kherson today. The Russians withdrew in the latest setback to Vladimir Putin's invasion. As Chuck Holton reports, American-supplied weapons are making a big difference on the battlefield.
After Kherson was abandoned by the Russian army, Ukrainian soldiers entering the city were immediately ambushed, though not by the enemy. Beleaguered residents rushed them with tearful hugs and kisses. Not long before, civilians shouted at the last Russian troops fleeing for the east bank of the Dniper River. As soon as they had gone, these young people set about tearing down posters the Russians had put up.
You have to have something which you live for, and this was the moment to live for. Liberation is not something happening every year. It's something in 5 generations, and it's a moment to stay.
For residents who suffered under Russian occupation, the last 9 months have been full of terror.
We knew only fear. We were afraid of everything. We were afraid of the sound of cars. We were afraid of using our telephones. We were hiding everything. We were hiding our kids.
More atrocities come to light with each passing mile, and Ukrainian authorities plan to thoroughly investigate them all. Kherson was spared destruction seen in other battles because the liberation came without the brutal house-to-house fighting normally required to dislodge an entrenched enemy. They did it by the clever use of 2 particular weapons, and you might be surprised to find most of the fighting was being done from underground. I visited the front lines in Kherson during the last days of the battle.
If you're a soldier in this conflict, the most dangerous thing that can happen is being seen by the enemy, because if they know where you are, they can shoot you. So I'm embedded with a unit right on the front lines, and I want to show you their headquarters, but I have to be very careful about how I do that so that I don't give away their position.
Miles from Russian troops, deep in a hand-dug bunker, commanders monitor troop movements via a fleet of off-the-shelf drones broadcasting over a Starlink internet connection. Once an enemy tank is identified, the location is relayed to an artillery unit, which loads a GPS-guided artillery shell provided by the United States. The results speak for themselves. Now, experts say Russia's options are decreasing rapidly.
So missile attacks is pretty much the only thing they have to make Ukraine suffer. But that tactic is not working. And we have seen since Russia destroyed almost 40% of Ukrainian energy grid, Ukraine still maintains its functioning, and Western assistance is actually increasing, not decreasing.
But here in Kherson, it will be a long time before things get back to normal.
It's difficult to live here. There is no water, no electricity, no heating, it's freezing, there is no internet. We are surviving the best we can.
While residents are eager to rebuild, now is the time to celebrate. It might be almost winter, but for the people of Ukraine, today feels like springtime. From Kherson, I'm Chuck Holton for CBN News.
Gordon, the joy and the relief in those faces, you can tell that this is really a turning point under the Russian occupation there.
It is a turning point, and so let's turn to Terry. You've got staff members, Orphans Promise staff in Kherson.
And that whole eastern region, but everybody's, been hiding up until this point. The joy of these people is contagious, isn't it? It just makes you want to grab a flag and dance. And their heart, to me, the heart of the Ukrainian people is astonishing. I mean, to endure, winter is coming and it's cold there, and no water, no electricity. It's going to be a rough winter, but they will survive it. They are just unbelievably steadfast.
My hope is that story, or stories like it, get broadcast in Russia so the Russian people can see what has happened,
the reality.
That they view themselves as now liberated because the Russian army has withdrawn.
And that some of these Russian soldiers who we see going back into their country now, many of them were walking across the base of a damaged bridge, retreating really, that they'll take the story of, we're not liberating people. We're not doing anything for Mother Russia here. We're really destroying a country, and so much. I'm so thankful that so many of the beautiful churches that are there don't seem to have been annihilated, because that would be such an incredible loss. But the people of, of Ukraine, and now I hope they press on to Berdansk to Zaporozhye to those places that need to be set free. There will be dancing in the streets all over Ukraine when we see victory.
Well, let's pray for that, and hopefully let's ask the Christians in Russia, please pray for peace.
Yes.
Please pray for your government to change its mind, that this whole myth of a greater Russia would go away and there could be peace.